Hello and welcome to Connections. This is episode 37 and it is called Is Spiritual Practice for Emotional Balance here to help us busy women make room for what matters? And we have our special guest, Vicky Lewis, and she is here already with us in the room. Welcome, Vicky.
Hello, Heidi. So happy to be here.
Yeah. So Connections is a forum which offers interviews and talks about the most important areas of our life, such as healing intimate relations, nurturing conscious awareness, and expressing who you are, and also how to continue your personal healing process. The purpose of our show is to inspire and teach you skills for dealing with the mental, emotional upheavals that happens to anybody from time to time. So all episodes are recorded and posted on our website, hangoutonconnections.com. And please interact with us live here on the comment part. We couldn't put on the comment tracker for whatever reason, I don't know, but we have it here on the cell phone and we will still see what you post and try to answer your questions. So about me, I'm a co-host together with Margarita. I'm Heidi from thepowerofrelationship.com. I'm a transformational coach, relationship coach, and I'm doing courses in relationship work and also retreats here in Italy in our beautiful Paradiso Integrale with my husband, Mark. And I think today it's enough for me. Come on, Margarita. Hello.
Yay, here I am. And I am Margarita Cristalotis from the cristalotis.com. I'm a published author, creative artist, and intuitive life and business mentor, helping professional women to overcome emotional issues and stress so they can become happier in their relationships and find their higher purpose within their career. I also have a healing retreat for my private clients here in Kingston, Ontario, called Enchantment. And today's topic is called spiritual practice. And a spiritual practice has been the core of most religions and philosophical systems for millennia. Women and also men can benefit from engaging in becoming aware of the patterns that governs their beliefs and resulting life situations, such as chronic stress, engaged in a small, and when engaged in a small mind practice daily, such as meditation and practicing intention, dramatic results can often be achieved. The repeated beneficial action create healthy habits in all areas of life, including physical health, emotional well-being, and mental clarity. Our area of discussion today is about emotional balance in a very busy world. And we will focus on the situation for women leading highly stressful lives with careers and families to take care of. And for this topic, we have invited our incredibly special guest, Vicky Lewis.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yes. And she is the founder of Clarity Queen. She is the gifted energy healer and transformational coach who helps people who have clarity and shift old paradigms in any area of their lives and businesses in a fun and efficient way. She can get to the root cause in any issue in a matter of minutes and then lovingly guide you to take back your power from any situation to create a deeper experience of joy, self-love, and passion. I hope I got this right. Do you want to add something to that, Vicky?
That's the best way I know how to describe what I do. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you the first question here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in your mind that helps your clients most when it comes to the spiritual practice?
What my intention is is to help my clients love themselves and really put themselves first in their lives. And I feel like that is also, it is a spiritual practice. The big thing is, you know, breathing. Like if someone is feeling emotionally out of balance, you know, are you breathing correctly? You know, so what I've learned about breathing is that it's so simple, it's free, anybody can do it. And when we take a long, slow, deep breath, and we do that for a few moments, we are oxygenating our bodies. And stress cannot live in a well-oxygenated body. So it has this immediate calming effect for the person. So that's my first thing is like, you know, are you breathing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
breathing consciously. Breathing consciously. Yes.
Yeah, that's a very good advice. So are you going to share how we're going to breathe later on, or how do you want to do it?
You know, it's not really like I have a lot of fancy techniques because I don't like to complicate stuff. I'm real simple, and it could just be taking a long, slow, deep breath, and you know, in every hour of the day, you know, if you can look at the time, okay, it's 10 after, okay, I'm going to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths at 10 after today. That's my commitment I'm making to myself. Wow, you totally oxygenated your body so much more than if you were just kind of moving in and out of your day and, you know, in reaction to whatever's happening, because that does affect your breath. Yeah.
So, Vicky, what I would like to ask you, I'm a singing coach, a singing teacher, and I have found that many people don't know how to take deep breaths. You tell them to take a big deep breath, and what they do often is to blow up their breath, and this is not really the breath you are talking about, because this will augment the tension when you breathe in your thorax in this way, and its breath goes up to here, you know. So how do you tell them, how do you guide them that they learn how deep breath is working?
I say, stick out your belly. I say, make your belly big. I'm from the South, so I talk kind of, you know, real down to earth, you know, so I say, okay, make your belly big. You know, bring it down and not up. And I'm so glad that you shared that, because so many people, we don't know how to breathe. Yeah, and this is something to consciously do. It's not hard, but it does take some awareness. And you just inhale through your nose, make your belly big, and exhale through your mouth. Very slowly.
No, what comes to my mind, what you could also say to people, take a short run and see how you breathe afterwards.
Oh, very, very good. Yes.
Because after a short run, you cannot breathe only up to here. You really.
No.
I mean, after not so short a run, it must be a little bit some movement, some physical movement, and then when you feel, you know, it really goes down. So.
Yeah. And a lot of it is another thing that I've noticed that really, really helps people is to help them shift all the stuff going on in their heads, all the thinking, and just, I go like this, move it down here. And keep your heart open. That is my biggest thing that I feel it really helps people more than anything, is to have an open heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can ask another question. I interfere a little bit with the questions of Margarita, but I hope I can. I'm wondering, the title is Spiritual Practice, and we are talking about breathing.
Yes.
You know, people might ask, what is a spiritual practice? What is a spiritual practice? Can you talk about that?
Well, you know, spiritual practice is relevant. You know, it's going to look different for me than it is for you, than my client. You know, it's going to look different for anybody. So I feel like we are spiritual beings. That's just, we're having a human experience, but at our core, we're spiritual beings. So just about anything can be spiritual, as long as it's done with awareness and consciousness And you know, that's, you know, you may want to, you know, for some people, spirituality is, you know, going to church or reading the Bible or reading the, you know, a religious text, or it could be, you know, I've had a spiritual experience washing the dishes, you know, or petting my dogs, or, you know, it's about being in the moment and appreciating life and appreciating your connecting with yourself, but then also the grander essence of life. Yeah, that's what I mean by spiritual.
You said it really very beautiful, Vicky, there about connecting to the heart.
Yes.
Right?
And yes, that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think anything, as long as your heart is open, anything can be spiritual. And you know, I want to live in a world where we're in that space all the time. That's the world I'm creating, is, you know, living in a place where we all have open hearts all the time. I feel like that would affect our communication. Oh my gosh, just, we wouldn't have the issues that we do now in the world of conflict and misunderstandings, and, you know, so it's all about the open heart.
Can you describe a little bit how it is for a person who doesn't have that complete awareness in the heart yet?
Yes.
How is it like? How is the feeling they have when they do that? And can you describe that?
I will. It feels joyful. It feels expansive. It feels safe. But the thing is that I've learned with working with people for many years around this and having an open heart is that we have a lot of pain and walls around our heart a lot of times, you know, because of the past or past hurts or relationships. You know, it could, there's so many different reasons why our little hearts are going to be walled up, you know, and that's why I do what I do, you know, with the energy healing and with the coaching, and is that it helps quickly and efficiently move, you know, help people have the awareness about what's going on, and they can forgive, let it go, create a new story, a new way of being, so they can feel safe, open in their heart, you know, and yeah, so
yeah, that really describes it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Now the crux here as with people is, yeah, so how do you do that? How do you get to that state of actually controlling the doors of your heart to open?
Yeah.
When there is a battle zone in life, at work there is people demanding you, at home there is like tons of, it's multitasking, and for women this multitasking thing may not include actually having your heart open, and I think that's the key here.
Yeah.
So can you describe some, other than or using a visualization or the breathing, and connect that with that door opening?
Definitely. That's an awesome question. Well, first, it's a conscious choice, you know, to want to open your heart. You know, just say, oh, I want to feel better. I don't want to be in this, you know, hectic, crazy, you know, reactionary place anymore. I'm tired of this. This is not working for me. And a lot of it is choice. So the next thing is, you know, to spend some time, you know, in nature. I feel like that's one of the quickest ways to open our hearts and to just appreciate the amazingness of nature. You know, that could be just looking at a flower, or, you know, I'm a big believer in the power of a walk, you know, outside. And, you know, just 15 minutes, you can take your busy mind of stress and worries and things pulling on you, and just say, you know what, I'm going to just take my walk and just be in the moment. I'm just going to be in the moment, and, you know, whatever that takes, I'm going to choose to be in the moment, and I'm going to enjoy this walk and just just, enjoy, breathe, do your breathing, fresh air, and then in 15 minutes, you're going to come back with a totally new perspective. You're going to be more in your body and more in your heart than when you've left on that walk. That's one easy thing. Another thing that I do is intention setting. I'm a big believer in what I call spiritual intention setting. This has made such a big difference in my life. I cannot emphasize this enough, is that in the beginning of your day, you could, do your little routine, but before you get your work day on, it could take 3 minutes. Seriously, like, it doesn't take a lot of time. That's why I like this, because people can't use that excuse like that, I don't have enough time, so that's a big one that people use. So it takes 3 minutes. So you could say, okay, my intention for this day is to be calm and focused and aware no matter what. That's a very powerful intention, right? And my intention is to be in my open heart. That is just my open heart. My intention is to consciously say that. So I do that. I do that every day. And I also have started recording. I have a little recorder app on my phone, and I record it into my phone, my intention for the day, and I listen to that. So it's good for people who are, in the car or driving to work or on the train. They can just listen to their intention and just taking the 3 minutes and breathing that in, and all right, and then, all right, it's on. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's a very good tip, right? Because if you, I'm thinking I'm going to do that too. Like,
so cool.
Today I'm going to finish my taxes, or
yes,
today I'm going to today I'm going to be happy no matter what, like something like that, and then I'm going to repeat it and listen to it, right? Or have myself call myself with the message, right?
I feel like the way we say our intentions has a huge thing too, because when we claim it, right? Because claim in Hebrew means to ask and also demand. So if we say our intention with power and joy and excitement for the day, that is infusing that day with that energy. But if we say, I'm going to finish them taxes today, that's a closed heart way of saying it, right? So you are going to feel dread about them taxes all day, But if you said, I'm going to do these taxes with joy, I'm going to have fun with these freaking taxes no matter what, I'm going to play my dance music and drink my tea and drink some wine or whatever, and I'm going to do my taxes.
Oh, Vicky, I think you have listened to me.
Okay,
I have to do that.
I know, your eyes.
Thank you, every tax authority.
Joy in our life about I don't care what it is. I don't know how gross the thing is you got to do. You can turn your joy on. You can turn your light on about it.
Well, we should really thank all the tax authorities all over the world for providing this incredible inspiration of transforming this, whatever the feeling we have about taxes, into something incredibly pleasurable, right?
Exactly. So you just made a great point. It's a lot about gratitude, right? So, what can you be grateful for about this? Whatever it is. And gratitude has a way of instantly putting us in the flow of life. Gratitude and joy. I don't care how busy you are. I know we're all busy. But if we have an approach of, I'm grateful for this. I feel joy. I love this. It's so much easier. You're going to find you live in a world where you're supported. People are going to show up to help. You're going to have more energy. Yeah.
So, Vicky, you are talking mainly about inner positions and shifting inner positions. Or
yes,
also,
that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, that you are standing in one point and you see that it's not very helpful. There is another one. You try it out often, and then it is easy to shift from one bang and go to the next one.
Yes, and you know one of my favorite sayings is, because sometimes we have days where we, what I call, wake up on the wrong side of the bed. We just are cranky, or you know, nothing seems to go right. Like you're like, oh, God, can I just go back to bed? You know, it's like, I love this statement. It's never too late to start the day over. It's never too late to start the day over. It's actually a quote from one of my favorite bands called Spearhead, and it's a really fun song. But I just think that is so brilliant, because you don't have to let your day go in the toilet, you know, if you're not feeling good or you have something happen. You know, you can make a conscious choice and make this shift, you know, but it does take some moments of stillness and conscious awareness to do that, like what you were saying, shifting that inside. And that will be reflected on the outside.
What I would like to add to that, that it's not a decision, now I'm happy, ha 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 ha.
Exactly. Right.
This doesn't work,
it's not actually. Yeah.
What I'm noticing with myself when I'm sad, or when there's one of these days, you know, for instance, last week, Margarita knows that my very favorite cat, with whom I had such a big connection, he died. Aww. And I just was not really in a good mood, and I'm still not completely out of it. Yeah. But, you know, whenever I feel and notice that I want to drift off into this mood of blah, 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 then I say, okay, now observe, how does it feel? How does it feel when you are in this mood? Yeah. And when I really allow myself to feel it, instead of thinking about I shouldn't be like this, I should be like that, and blah, 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 but really allow me to feel that, then it loses the power on me. It begins to be interesting even, you know, even bad moments begin to be interesting. So.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That is true. You know, we have, you know, these feelings, you know, hard feelings. We have, you know, grief. We have anger. We have fear. All of these things, and that is okay. It's feelings. You know, the whole thing is the feelings can move on. The feelings don't define us. You know, and I think where we can get stuck in these what I call the funky feelings is in the judgment of the feeling, or judgment of ourself for feeling that, right? Like, oh, I'm supposed to be, you know, this way, you know, no, that cuts it off, right? And it closes the heart, right? Because you're judging self. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling that way. And that, I feel, is one of the most detrimental things to the human spirits. Talk about spirituality, is self-judgment. I know that is so true. Yeah, and the opposite of that is self-love and acceptance, and just like, you know what, I'm really sad, my cat died, you know, and that's okay. So you move through that by feeling it, right?
Instead of trying to get rid of it, because when you try to get rid of it, it's sort of sticking to you.
Yes, it's what you don't want to look at. It's what will be there right with you all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's really good.
So I have another question for you, Vicki.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is, I know you are an animal communicator. And being an animal communicator, you have to understand humans very well.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you apply what you know about the animal communication with how to integrate with your clients so that they can actually get what you're saying? How do you do that? Can you share some story or some ways you do that?
So you're saying, like, if I was doing an animal communication with a person and their animal? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I know you have a skill of actually tuning in with animals.
Yes.
And you could also use that with humans. So could you give us some hints what one can do for a person who's very stressed and tuning in with what the other people are experiencing from this stress that the person themselves have, and can help them?
So what I've learned from the animal community that can help the people? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Can I interfere a moment? I would say one of the good things is really having an animal and tune into animals to learn about oneself and to learn about emotions. This is just to take it.
That's totally. What have you learned? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's. Don't they teach us so much? I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot how to communicate with people through animals. You know, when I was a child, I found, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on in my house sometimes, and you know, I just felt more comforted by the animals, you know, and I felt like that was probably, they were like some of my first very close friends. And so what I've learned about animals is they unconditionally love. That's just, they don't have conditions about the love that they share or the love that they receive. Some humans do have issues with both receiving and giving love. And so much. And I've also, you know, they're in the moment. Oh my gosh, animals are so in the moment. And they don't hold grudges so much. You know, they do remember things for sure, but they don't hold grudges. It's so interesting, like sometimes I've talked with people who have animals and they've rescued the animals, right? And they're like, they want to know, you know, about the terrible past, you know, oh, what happened to my dog? You know, I feel like, you know, there was something really horrible that happened and I've rescued this dog from this situation. And the humans like to talk about that. It's interesting. But when I connect with the animals about that, they're like, I don't want to be considered a rescue. I don't, that doesn't feel like that honors their spirit and who they are. You know, I want to be seen as this courageous, you know, strong dog that I am. I don't want to be looked at like you rescued me. And then also, they don't want to talk about the past so much. They'll be like, whatever, doesn't matter, you know. And they'll move on. You know, they may have terrible scars and stuff on their body. Oh, they don't want to talk about it. It's like it's not important to them. They have this awesome human that loves them now, and that's where they are. And I feel like that can really help people, that kind of attitude, you know. So don't let your past define you. You know, be in the now. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I want to add to that, that's exactly what I want still to write a blog post about what this cat has taught me.
Oh, yes.
About myself and about other people. It's really amazing, amazing. He has taught me something about really unconditional love.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm writing a book about one of my dogs that recently passed, Phoenix, and she taught me so much about life, and I feel like, and also I feel like, you know, animals, your cat has a message for the humans. You know, that's what I've also discovered through animal communication that I didn't know before I started doing this professionally, is that a lot of animals, they do have a really special message for their humans, like a spiritual message. And because they know they're human more than anybody. They know the secrets of the human's heart, because they're always observing us. They know our rhythms, our patterns, our emotions. And so, like, I've talked with animals, and they'll say, I said, you have a message for your human? And they're like, yeah. I said, they'll say, you know, my mom, she's been really wanting to paint again. She's not happy, you know, doing her work, but she puts her creative, you know, stuff on the back burner. Will you please tell her that I tell her to paint again, or something, or some kind of, oh, she really loves that friend, but she's not going to go see that friend because she thinks she's too busy, and will you tell her to go see that friend, because when she comes back from visiting that friend, she's in such a good mood, or whatever, you know. They'll even say stuff about, well, I don't like your boyfriend, you know, I feel like you could, you know, deserve somebody better or something. Like, they kind of know what we don't often admit to ourselves. That's what I've discovered. It's really interesting.
So we come back to our topic. Spiritual practice is also live together with an animal.
Definitely. Yes, yes. And there's so many, you know, studies and you know, how animals can help, you know, people who are, say, in hospitals or are isolated, you know, from other, you know, people so much, and then they bring the animals in, and they've smiled in the first time in years, or they feel, you know, there's like things where they bring in the dogs into prisons. I've seen that recently, and like they say, oh, this dog opened my heart. But that's literally in this article that I read about, you know, a prison and dog program. I was like, you know, these are people that, you know, they've had their hearts closed for many years, you know, and they feel happy again. They feel like they're part of society when the dogs come in. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
Wow. So a spiritual practice is to allow someone in your life that can open your heart, and that might be the dog, a cat, or another person.
Yes. And sometimes it's ourselves. I feel like we can open our hearts. It's the self-love. Yes. And making that choice. But sometimes we do need a person or animal to help us with that process. That's what I've learned also.
I'm very impressed by the work you did with your dog. He didn't have legs, right? You carried him with some kind of stroller, right?
Yeah, she had a condition that it basically her back leg stopped working, and then we did a dog wheelchair for a while, and then after the condition moved up and it got her front legs, so then we did a baby stroller for a while. And it was, you know, I was like, you know, am I making the right decision to keep her here? You know, because as humans, we can take them to the vet and they can help them move on, you know, make their transition. But this dog had Phoenix had such a strong spirit that she wanted to be here. And so I communicated with her. I had my mentor communicate with her. I was like, are you sure? Okay, you want to be here. So I honored her spirit and kept her here. And it, you know, it didn't matter how much work it was involved, you know, with, you know, caring for a dog who couldn't walk. It fed me. We fed each other spiritually. It was this really beautiful relationship. And, you know, I connect with her now. You know, she passed on in February. And I connect with her now in spirit, and she's just in bliss, happy, you know. And she's the dog that got me into animal communication, you know, professionally. So she's happy we're even having this conversation, you know, so about animals and spirituality and all of this. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think many people have an experience as a child having a pet and whatever kind it is. So what is the sort of takeaway that you want to share, Vicki? What are the three things, let's say, that the person might engage in to actually open their heart and become happier and actually connect with their spiritual self?
Okay, my top three things would be spend more time in nature. And I'm not saying being on your cell phone and walking through the park. I'm talking about, you know, turning your stuff off, unplugging, and just appreciating, you know, the amazement of nature. Like it doesn't matter what season it is. There's always something really amazing in nature. You can look up at the sky and look at the clouds or the stars, or, you know, I feel like touching the earth can help people tremendously through, you know, there's a lot of research now called about earthing. You know, actually getting your body so your bare feet on the earth. You know, you could be sitting in a chair and putting your feet on the ground for 30 minutes a day on grass, preferably, or it could be concrete if you can't, but as long as because what happens is that balances the nervous system. And, you know, when our emotions get all wacky, and that's often connected with the nervous system. And so that's something that actually is a physical a physical way to balance our emotions is by getting our feet on the ground. I tell this to everybody. You'll be any of my talks, and I'm going to talk about earthing. So you can go to earthing.com to learn more about it. But that's a way to connect with nature, and that's my #1.
So what you say is that busy women, when they have to prepare for the next day, they go out in the park, take off their shoes, and sit on the bench and do their work there. Yes. Instead of behind the desk.
Yes, yes, yes. Or in your backyard, or on your patio. So you had patio and it was concrete over the ground. That's okay, because the electrons and all the healing energy from the earth can go up and into your feet, and that's what you really want. And you'll notice you'll breathe better. You'll be able to take a deeper breath more easily. It actually reduces inflammation and those aches and pains that we have. There's wonderful studies about it, and I love that science is known about this. This ancient practice, of touching the earth. So yes, busy women, go get your feet on the earth. That's #1. It's going to help you open your heart and be in the moment and actually calm the nervous system and just feel better and more balanced. Yeah. Another thing is find something that feeds your soul, that is fun. That could be listening to music, making yourself a playlist that actually makes you feel good. It's all about feeling good. It's all about our feelings, right? So, don't listen to music that drags you down, but more so listen to music that makes you feel more uplifted, or maybe you want to get up and dance and move and just shake it all off. I like to I recommend a lot to my clients, dance to 3 songs every day, especially for women who are really stressed and are they got a lot going on. There's a lot of nervous tension in the body, and when we can just shake our butt and just dance and have fun, just feel like a kid again for 3 songs, that's like 10-15 minutes. Oh my gosh, the spirit's gonna lift, the heart's gonna open. You're gonna be like, oh, I feel good, And I love it because all this stuff I'm sharing is pretty much free. It's like, that's another thing that I like about what I share. And another thing that I feel really helps people is gratitude. Gratitude and not gratitude in a way of not giving like lip service to gratitude. I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for the beautiful day. That's kind of flat, but like I am grateful, that it's, clear outside. I'm grateful that after this talk I'm going to go for a walk. I'm grateful that I'm here with you. Be really in the moment when you do your gratitude. And I feel like you can't really be in a bad mood if you're in gratitude. And so one of my friends, that I've known, since I was 15, she just started a page on Facebook for her friends because she knows the power of gratitude, and it's like the Give Thanks page. And so just for her friends, but they go on every night before they go to bed and they list 3 things that they're grateful for. And they share it with people, and I just think that's so cool. And it's just about being grateful and also sharing that spirit of gratitude with the people that you love too. Yeah, those are my 3 things.
That is great. Heidi, do you have any further questions for Vicki?
Oh, I would have a lot, but we don't have the time.
I know.
I really love your reminder about the gratitude and not forget it. We so often take it for granted, that we have everything and that the trees are growing by themselves and it's nothing, no? But that we really take it into consideration, all the good things in our lives and in every day and every minute. And
oh, yeah.
I'm grateful to have got to know you here, really.
Oh, I know. I want to come to Italy and visit you.
Yeah, wonderful. And I'm sure we will connect. So my takeaway for today is really this insight. I mean, I knew it, but it's a confirmation that everything can be spiritual. That spirituality doesn't mean sitting on the cushion for 12 hours a day or something. It can be sometimes, but this is not the only way of being spiritual. I would say spirituality, as I understand, it's more like you, that the whole life, the whole day is, how do you say, filled by spirit. And this can be happening when you are aware, when you are conscious of what is happening as well as we can. And for me, life is about getting ever more conscious. And so really, thank you for that. And I can take this moment. I'm preparing a new Hangout show, which is called The Wisdom Factory, where we will talk about all these things, about these levels of consciousness and how we can grow up into higher levels of consciousness and so on, and how it is implementing itself in all areas of life, in all perspectives. So I invite everybody to be there, also you as a guest.
Oh, cool! Wisdom Factory, yeah. I would love this. It's right up my alley, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
What a great insights we have. Yeah, so to summarize, I think we've got a really beginning of a new mini-series, Spiritual Practice, and I would love to have you back here, Vicky, again, and we could discuss further things in there. And,
yeah, I would love that. I've got a lot more to share. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Love talking about this. Thank you.
So thank you so very much for your insight, and I'm going to take that away, going out in nature, dancing, and be grateful. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. My pleasure. Yeah, what an honor to be here.
So Heidi, what is the next week's show about?
The next week we will have Tae Ming Oi here with us, and her topic is mental and emotional first aid. So she will talk, I mean, we are more or less always in this area of consideration, what to do when you are really overwhelmed with, I mean, it's even some people, you know, they begin to think about suicide because they cannot handle their emotions. And she will talk with us about these things. So I invite you all to, if you are interested, if you know people who have problems with their emotions. So she will give some steps how to handle these emotions.
Beautiful.
Okay, so Vicky, do you have a final say here? What you want to share with our audience?
Yes, I want everybody to give themselves a big hug. Yay! Thanks for showing up.
So thank you so much for participating today, and go out there and practice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. I love you.
Until next time.
Bye.